Hello everyone, welcome to this midweek cast. Today we've got 4 games for you and we're starting off with Tribal Gaming versus Monkey Business. Hope you're all doing well. I had a fantastic Wednesday. So as we get into the picks and bans, seems like I've missed the first 4. Well, I'm muting everything. So we have the Zong Kui coming out on the side of Tribal and the Thanatos as well. And that will be followed by the Merlin and Kronos coming out from the side of Monkey Business, which allowed Tribal to immediately pick up the Jormungandr. So, very strong sort of first pick, but I might expect possibly a King Arthur to be locked in on the side of Monkey Business. I think Hydreigon is a very strong sort of solo laner, but I don't think it's necessarily a King Arthur pick. He could also pick into the Bellona and just disarm the Jormungandrs clear and just try and really outpressure that lane. But I think this Jormungandr has been played for Tribal in that mid lane, as we currently have an Achilles being hollowed over and a Medusa. And both of those gods will be locked in. So Achilles with a little bit of flex potential possibly could go into the jungle. Again, Medusa having a little bit of flex potential could be played in that mid lane, but more likely going into the ADC role. I was going to say I think the patch is happening Tuesday. So I think from next week we might see more hunters sort of transition into that mid role. Not played too much. I haven't played any of the PTS or seen too much from it. But looking forward to that mid-season patch with the new items and the changes that are coming in. As we see Tribal now locking in the Ratatoskr as their second pick. I should actually try and do that if that shows on stream, the animations. Always forget to do it. So that's 2 very early pressure gods they have locked in so far. And the Athena will also follow. Monkey Business immediately responding with the Scylla, which is, I like a nice safe mid laner, Scylla with an escape away from the Ratatuskers, possibly ganking. The Athena taunt can be a little bit messy, but if you put your sort of free ability out away from you, you can escape once that taunt duration is up and sort of get away from any follow-up damage that's coming after you. As we wait for the next round of ban picks, and it looks like the Jingwei has been banned out. Very popular hunter in the hands of Jaybird can be absolutely devastating along with the Kronos. I think Jaybird has been playing more this mid for the past couple of weeks, and I'm not sure if that was due to just them having subs that they had to cover and Jaybird's being more accommodating, and if we'll see Jaybird back to his more usual ADC role. As we have a quick look towards the next ban, and it will be the good old-fashioned Kumbhakana ban. So a lot of CC and a lot of setup that would be there for Scylla. They want that totally removed from Monkey Business. Monkey Business electing to ban out the Hera on the other side, and the Humbat being banned from the side of Tribal. So very sort of I wouldn't necessarily say targeted ban, but Humbat into a Scylla, into a Medusa, you can set up quite a lot with that, as the Ganesh is currently being hovered over and will get locked in on the side of Monkey. So I'm seeing a little bit of setup here on the side of Monkey Business towards that Scylla, but I think they're still possibly looking for a Bellona in the solo lane, or even a jungler if Achilles is going to transition into that solo lane. As Tribal have now locked in their mid laner of the Agni, and the Anhur also getting locked in. So that Jormungandr, we said about the flex potential a bit earlier in the picks and bans, so that should be played in the solo lane with the Athena support, Ratatuska jungle, and Agni mid and her ADC. So what will this final pick for Monkey Business be? And they will lock in the Arachne. So just sort of looking into the drafts, I do like the Athena pick with the Agni for Tribal. I think there's sort of a lot of damage potential they can have there with that combination. The Arachne can get a bit scary if she manages to lock down a few early kills and begin to get her sort of late game items online once she gets that Katana online, and you really have no escape from it. Anhur does have the leap away, Agni does have a dash, but if you get hit by those spiders in the slowed, Arachne should still be able to catch up with you. So it'd be very interesting to see how these teams sort of play this game out. What do you think in the chat? How do you think each team did on the draft for the first game? Who do you think picked up the win? With that, I'm going to throw it to a quick break while I get the game ready, so I'll see you guys in a bit. And into game one we go. Interesting that both supports are positioned on the left side of the map. Athena beginning to make a rotation, possibly towards a mid start. Has got that sprint upgraded compared to the Ganesh who's elected to go into boots, but also interesting to note Rat electing to possibly do an Acorn Rush and really apply pressure early. See Achilles starting on his blue buff with those Arachne webs, should help him clear it pretty quickly. This should give Jormungandr a pretty clear lane to farm, and Athena has managed to rotate all the way over to the right side of this map. So Anhur should be left in a 2v1 lane, but just poking out Ganesh and Medusa at the moment, down to about half HP on Jaybird. Keep an eye out here for the time being, as Achilles is still struggling to clear that blue buff. Just managing to do that now, but that should be a whole minion wave pushed under tower, and they should be punished for it. A little bit surprised by this Ratatasker for Tribal going for this blue buff, presuming the support elected starting so low. I would have expected possibly the straight to red buff, or possibly to mid to try and capitalize on the early pressure. I think Ganesh looked towards the red buff, but didn't find anyone over there, and Jaybird gets a little bit poked out, but will jump away to a little bit of safety. Red buff picked up by Agni there, and Rat just looking for the back camps, not looking to take advantage of that early pressure. Just going to have a quick look at gold in hand for the Ratatasker. Currently about 600, I believe it's 900 he needs to upgrade that Acorn. With the pots it's going to take a little bit longer to come online. And then possibly once that Acorn is online, we might be able to see a little bit more on the gank side coming. As Hyde on this Achilles is taking a little bit of pressure, poking out Jormungandr, really pushed him into tower, as we have a little bit of a fight in the mid lane, but Agni just dashed away from any damage that could come his way. Ratatasker finding his way into the left lane, pushing Medusa under tower. Medusa about half HP there, but I don't think there's too much kill potential to be found. Gonna follow Chief jungle pathing here. Could run into a potential Arachne problem, but Arachne electing to go do her speed buff, and will Chief be able to find anything onto the Scylla in the mid lane? Does get the stun off, does get the Acorn blast, the Scylla Aegis is used, and the escape not good enough, and Agni passive will do enough damage to claim first blood in the mid lane. So, very good first blood for the side of Tribal there. Been pinging out to do the mid camps, but I think Agni just wants to clear this wave for the time being. Just looking at Agni's build, currently trying to stack up that Mage's Blessing, currently about 15 stacks ahead of the Scylla. Scylla would also not make it back to the wave to get these stacks. It's going to confirm her red buff. And got caught in a little bit of a tricky situation. We'll pick up 3 of those minions. And the red buff will get confirmed by the 3 rotating members of Monkey Business. Oh, the leap in onto the Medusa, but Medusa managing to dash away from that incoming damage. The impaled just off the mark, not really able to find the Medusa there, and I believe this could be the opportunity to back after clearing this wave, but elects to ult the wave, confirm the XP, and will back off as Arachne is clearing out the purple buff. Not sure if Arachne walked over a ward or Anher got a call that Arachne was in the left side jungle, just taking the easy way to clear the wave. Jormungandr will get the Totem of Ku for his team, which is, I was going to say, really would help out the Agni in the mid lane, but with cooldown boots and the Mage's Blessing, he shouldn't be running out of mana anytime soon. As those Agni bombs clearing the wave, hitting Scylla for damage. And the fact they're 3 mana cost and it's just cooldown you need to wait for, it's a very strong ability to have in your pocket, as Jormungandr is forced away from this Achilles. Will go in, I think, twice to confirm a little bit of damage and then expect the full retreat here. Achilles is going to try and chase this down, but just not able to close that distance quick enough. In the mid lane, oh, Scylla's in trouble, down to 100 HP. The stun stopping the damage coming out in return onto the Agni, and Scylla will be forced back to base. Meanwhile, in the left lane, we have Anher again pushing Medusa really under the tower. Now just waiting around the corner to see if Medusa pushes up too far. Does get an auto for a little bit of damage, but again, not able to really find any kill potential. But the Medusa spit off the mark, does manage to find an auto, and the knockback will push Medusa into the safety of tower. There goes the ultimate, and Jaybird will pick up the kill, but I think we'll get punished here by the Arachne. Arachne picking up a kill in return onto the Anher. So currently Tribal 2-1 up in kills, about 1,000 gold lead, about 1,000 XP difference, but again, it's not insurmountable at this stage. Arachne electing to go into Golden Blade before the Katana, which I understand because it really does help her clear. And she has a lot in her kit to slow people down and try and apply pressure in other ways. Oh, the Athena taunt is huge. The Scylla Aegis is used, and Agni. Oh, I don't know if he got caught on that Ganesh pillar, but that was a lot of damage coming out in the Agni, and the dash away just confirmed him into more damage. And I'm pretty sure that's Ganesh picking up the kill and just passing it on to Scylla. Fortunately for Tribal here, the red buff has been taken, so... Oh, Army Monster comes out onto Athena. Athena escaping with about 50 HP. Can Ganesh find this final kit? No, he can't, as Athena dashes away.
Just need a moment to catch breath.
Huge fight at mid lane now. Can Jaybird find anything onto the Medusa? Medusa level 6, Jaybird currently level 8. And we'll just keep out farming Medusa. And Cubic is in a little bit of trouble in this lane. We'll need help from Morgant, and her dashes in aggressively, does manage to hit the pillar and the impale, and Medusa will just try and dash away again to safety. And her ultimate is up, so another one of those combos, and Medusa will die in this lane. And Jaybird just freezing out Medusa, so Medusa's really going to need help in this lane from somewhere. Currently 3 levels up. And I really do like what the Anher's doing here. He's not building stacks, so he's just letting the waves kill each other, confirming that experience for himself. Ratatusker is over here, and I think Medusa realizes that, the fact how far Anher backed off, and Monkey's Business do have one ward on this side to cover this, but so does Jaybird, so I was going to say he should know the Arachne is around the Gold Fury. Ratatusker confirming the oracles and backing away. Meanwhile, in the solo lane, we hit each other, and that's about it. Okay, he does manage to get the staff. Arachne is rotating towards the left lane, and Anher's dashing aggressively. Medusa, doesn't manage to connect with the Anher, but the rotation from Creed and Eve is going to pick up that kill. And Arachne, with those 2 kills, now puts her 2 levels above this Ratatusker.
Lie dormant. Your time will come.
I was going to say, did manage to get the Ratatusker with those spiders. That puts her 3 levels above, but I would hope Ratatusker hits 8 off this wave. Because otherwise this rat is very far behind. If we just have a quick look at net worth, it's about a 600 gold difference. But it's more that experience difference at the moment that is creating the bigger problem. I was going to say, what I do like from both these teams is the amount of ward coverage they have on the left side of this map. Monkey Business really putting aggressive wards around that red buff and just protecting their ADC pathing from any potential routes. I was going to say I would like to see possibly a ward around the Gold Fury, but I think they've covered every path there in case the rat does let... Oh, that's a huge Athena taunt coming out, and Scylla doesn't manage to get the dash away, but here comes Arachne. Agni getting caught by those pillars again, and we'll get caught by Arachne, and that's 3-0 Arachne for Monkey Business. This Arachne is going to become very, very scary. So you see Arachne just in the top right of the screen rotating towards this duo lane. Will confirm the purple buff and possibly look to pressure Anna, but will elect to go back to base. Oh, the rattle is used, does go onto the Achilles, does find the stun, and Achilles having to ult out. Will it be enough? Jormungandr is up into the ultimate, does manage to pick up that kill. And we'll go straight for the Totem of Coup. A little bit surprised he didn't go for those archers in the ult just to clear that wave a bit more efficiently. But needs to be careful here with the rotation coming out from Monkey Business. But they will just push him away from the T1 tower there. Oh, the huge Scylla ult coming out to Athena. And Athena, what is your health at?
Oh, fight that one.
55 and it's getting healed up by 5, so gotta be about probably down to 25 health, but you only need 1 to stay alive. But Scylla getting very unlucky with that Iron Monster. Possibly looking for the Agni card. Oh, does manage to get the through, and can they find enough damage onto this Agni? And just the Ganesh ultimate is doing too much damage to this Agni at this stage.
Your evil strengthens our resolve.
Ganesh really keeping the Scylla in this game so far. And I would say it's not to the fault of the Scylla, she just got very unlucky with a few of her ultimates that they weren't able to find enough damage to get the kill. If they're getting penetration boots online next would really help out that damage and just confirm a little bit more and possibly pick up these kills as Jaybird is just looking for a little bit of positioning onto this Medusa. But Medusa should be able to just dash away if she feels like she needs to. Just going to check the grass. As we see, it's been a little bit of an up and down onto the experience. Tribal still maintaining a little bit of a lead, but it is dropping very slightly over time. Goal difference as well was kind of maintaining, but it's now dropping back down to, I was going to say towards that 500 level, but it's just gone up to 1,000. Have a quick look as Jaybird manages to pick up Medusa and High Train picks up the Jormungandr. So 2 very quick kills there, as I was going to question the Jormungandr picking up that Stone of Binding, but it kind of makes sense. Reducing sort of the debuff you can put onto the Achilles, but just it doesn't give you a lot of physical protections against that Achilles, so I'm not sure if that's the best sort of item to go into. Dynasty Plate Helm I fully understand, just that Stone of Binding, I'm not sure if it was worthwhile. I can say, especially with the Achilles, looking at builds going into the Runic Shield, just going to reduce that Jormungandr's power and his potential to clear that wave anytime he's close, and he really wants to be close in boxing. Feeling a little bit out of position, but has got a team around if they want to rotate. Looking for this red buff invade, but I think Arachne should be able to get it before Athena's even there, and it will get dropped for the Scylla to come and pick up. Scylla electing to take the safe pass, which I think is very wise call. Agni just sunning out the Ganesh, making sure nothing comes onto him, but that dash away could put Athena in trouble. There goes the Ganesh ult, and that's a lot of damage onto the Athena, and Athena will fall in the mid lane. Monkey Business taking the kill lead. Oh, Arachne did manage to get the spiders onto Agni, but the dash away into the T1 tower should keep him safe as Jormungandr is taking the T1 in the solo lane, so Tribal will get a little bit of experience back and he will just elect to ult out to safety, not knowing where anyone is on the enemy team, and the rotations coming in as Arachne is looking towards Jaybird. Jaybird Pillar used, the Impale used. The spiders are going to slow him down. I don't know if he can make it back to the safety of his T1 tower. Will get stunned just out. The Medusa Ult does come out to slow him even further, and will get picked up before the rotation can come from the Ratatusker. But Agni is also here, so are they going to possibly look for a return kill? As Arachne is aggressing onto the Ratatusker, he is in the safety of his T1 tower there. But Arachne having no mana here could be in a little bit of trouble to Just Be Better, but Just Be Better will elect to go into his T1 tower for safety. But Arachne's still here wanting to fight. Doesn't need too many mana abilities, just auto attacks are really gonna chomp away at people's protections and confirm the kill for the Arachne. Scylla will manage to get the mid tower while that rotation was happening. And Monkey Business swing the game. Not quite for the first time because the experience did dip to their favour entirely. As the Ganesh ult is used onto Just Be Better, but Just Be Better just getting out of it that time. Huge Athena taunt, 2-man, and not enough to find. The Arachne sprint is popped and they should be able to get out safety with Achilles rotating. They might even look to try and turn this fight. Achilles caught out in a little bit of a weird position here. Jormungandr spots him out, but not able to really do any damage to High Train here. Dual Discharge poked out to about half health, and Jormungandr's in a little bit of trouble, but has got an ultimate if he needs to, and I don't think they've got enough burst potential. He will go up into that ultimate. I was going to say that ultimate's not going to put the Athena closer. He's huge taunt coming out. Agni dashing in. The Aegis used on Scylla. Can they find the damage? And Just Be Better does find it, but High Train picks up a double kill in the meantime. Jormungandr is low. Just Be Better gets picked up by the Arachne, and there should be a potential. Oh, they're all quite low. Anna is going to pick up the T1 in the left side. Aggressive onto Medusa. But the fact that ultimate's down, that should be a free goal for Yuri. But I think they're going to look to rotate onto Jaybird here. Oh, he does get the Impale, but it's just not enough to keep the Arachne off. Got the Impale onto the Ganesh, the wrong target. Frenzy pop to help burn this Gold Fury. They're all about 25% health, but it shouldn't matter too much. And the first Gold Fury of the game will go to Monkey Business. Just this Arachne pick, being able to lock down targets, currently going 5-0-5. And I think our unsung hero of this is Ganesh. The amount of kills Ganesh has kind of picked up for his team. I think it's gone towards the Scylla, possibly the 2 kills I've seen Ganesh pick up. Especially now with, oh, huge Sikkim, huge crush, but onto the Athena it's not going to do too much damage. I was going to say, with the Achilles now beginning to rotate a little bit more into these fights, Monkey Business damage up potential has become a lot more. Currently heading up the damage charts as the spiders. Just a little bit of a nuisance for Athena. There's no T1 tower to shoot them down at the moment. There's a little bit of a dewarding fight happening around the Pyromancer Fire Giant area. So both teams grouped up around this mid lane. I wouldn't expect Tribal to initiate and engage into a T1 tower, but hopefully trying to get a pick. I'm not quite sure if this grouping is going to help them or hinder them. There's nothing really to invade at this current time. Pexel just getting poked out by the Athena taunt does come out. Ganesh ult is out, and I think Pexel took a lot of damage just ulting onto that. It's not an immediate ult. There is a wind up time where you can take damage. I think he'll get out safely, but he is going to get chased. High Train does see him, he does stun him out, does have the ultimate to execute, and second execute I think he's still got the execute up, but I thought he executed away. As, oh, dual discharge in huge trouble. The Scylla ult does manage to confirm that kill. Iron Monster's still available if anyone elects to contest this, just using it on the minion wave, and Monkey's Business should get this T2 tower and possibly look for a Fire Giant or Pyromancer. Agony Bomb just stunning out the gas, electing to dash in. Not able to find the Agni. Agni dashing away to safety. And they will pick up a speed buff as well. So I think I would elect to do the Pyromancer here. Yep, with the Ratatusker still being available, the Rat ult available, Fire Giant's a little bit of a risky call here. Not quite sure if you needed to pop Frenzy for it. Now I love this Ratatusker pick in principle as we turn our attention to Chief here, but maybe I've just missed it, but I don't think I've caught a Ratatusker ult happened once yet this game. We're 20 minutes in. Maybe you can tell me in the chat if I've just missed it and they have come out, but either way, it's not been too many, as the Acorn Blast stun not able to find High Train there, and even if it did, I don't think the kill potential there. Jaybird could be in a little bit of trouble with 2 rotating, but I think they'll just confirm their purple buff. I think he should be able to get his back off unless Medusa, nope, manages to spit the wave and just stop that back at the last second, but so far everyone should just go back to farming at this stage. We've got a minute until the next Gold Fury spawns. It will be a Primal Fury that they're fighting over. And yeah, the fact that, going back to those damage numbers, the Ganesh being a higher damage output than the Ratatusker is scary, presuming Ratatusker has gotten a very aggressive build with the Crusher, Titan's Bane, Void Shield. It's not a huge just defensive build trying to set things up. Just don't think this Ratatusker's been able to be really effective, and the late game potential on the Ratatusker does drop off. So I think apart from that ultimate to set possibly the Agni damage up, the Ratatusker could be null and void in this game from now on. Whereas Arachne going into that Quinn size, she should be able to pick up anyone out of position who escapes her down and should be able to just blow them up pretty quickly. Next item probably going to be a Bloodforge, so giving Arachne even more survivability, as we do see Achilles aggressing onto dual discharge. The Ganesh ult just sort of blocking the path for Achilles, but they're not able to lock down. Sorry, the Ganesh ult blocking the path for the Athena there, having to go around the jungle, but not really able to put out any more damage output after that ult, and they will look towards this Primal Fury. But Jaybird, I was going to say, was he going to look for an Impale, but just getting zoned out. The beats are used to immune slow. Here is Achilles just to zone out a little bit further, and I think Monkey Business want to take this fight before looking for the Gold Fury. Huge Scylla Crush coming out, and Jaybird will get picked up by the Medusa. I believe that was Medusa ult, and Jaybird was stunned as a statue, and I don't... Sprint is popped on the side of dual discharge, so I do expect dual discharge to get away. That is the first Ratatusker ult I've seen, and it was used as an escape. So again, Frenzy popped, not entirely sure it's needed. But they will pick up that Primal Fury, and that's one stack towards Monkey Business here. Currently sort of dominating this game, and if I'm Tribal, I'm not sure where that damage output's come. Again, I said, I think the Rat needs to just ult and try and set up an Agni Athena taunt combo and just try and burn at least the Arachne. Arachne not even having beads or a Magi's cloak, she should be pretty susceptible to an Athena taunt and a lot of damage coming towards her. Just sort of having a look at the build, Scylla finishing off Bancroft as the 4 fighter. Not sure I'm 100% a fan of it. I do like the Bancross for a little bit of sustain, but I think that's more early game pressure when you get to this sort of stage of the game. If you don't have it online, I think you elect to go into another item, possibly an Obsidian Shard. I think would have been a better call in that position. Just a little bit more penetration that you can really output the damage, especially when most of the Sickums and Crush have been going towards that Athena. And Arachne, here we go, trying to engage onto dual discharge. The taunt comes out as there is the Ganesha. Not managing to lock anyone into it, but Athena is low. Achilles will chase Ratatusker ult going onto that Arachne, but that is a huge Medusa ult just zoning them out. And I think Chief will get picked up here by High Train. And Jaber does manage to pick up Creed and Eve. That is going to be a huge gold swing, but Deco picking up Just Be Better in the backline. Huge Iron Monster coming out, picking up one. Half healthing the Jormungandr, and I don't know if they keep fighting into this or they turn around, but there comes the execute out onto the Achilles. With just Athena up, I would probably expect them to start stripping away these towers. I don't know if they've got enough health to do a Gold Fury. Sorry, the Fire Giant at this stage. I think High Train more trying to bait the Athena there. But even then, they didn't even strip away that T1 tower in the solo lane. Athena should be able to save this. With the Ratatusker spawning just now, but I don't think we'll have an ult enough in time to contest this Fire Giant. It will literally just be the Athena. But they need to be a little bit careful because I was going to say they have minions pushed up in the left lane. Frenzy is popped to try and burn this Fire Giant. Athena positioning around the back. The walls on the Fire Giant are up, and Scylla Iron Monster used to confirm it, but I was going to say it was used a little bit late, and the Ganesha not really able to lock down the Athena, but it doesn't matter, Athena will fall anyway. As their attention switch towards this Jormungandr in the solo lane, and the Ratatusker just clearing out the blue buff, get a little bit of farm, and Jormungandr will ult out, and I believe they will just run down this right lane, sorry. And this should be a pretty free T2 tower. I think it's a long swing to go to that left lane to clear out T1 and T2. I was going to say, I guess the Athena is respawning, so it's a little bit too much to ask to push that right lane in, especially when it's not an enhanced Fire Giant. Just swing round to the left, claim your 2 towers. Gold Fury will be spawning in about a minute, so 2 towers, Gold Fury, clear out the jungle. I think this is a safe call from Monkey Business, but it should pay off for them. We'll have a quick look at the gold difference. As you can see, it's now spiraled down to 12k gold difference, 16,000 in the experience, and that's going to just increase a little bit more with this T2 tower going down. And they might be able to push into this Phoenix. Rat being on the right side of the map. Jormungandr just putting out a pool, poking out a little bit of damage, making his presence felt. But the disengage call was made, and they will pick up this Gold Fury for free. Fortunately for them, it's just a regular Gold Fury. It's just going to give them a little bit more gold in hand to spend. But when you already have, I think that'll be 3k onto the Medusa. Yep. So that's going to be a Deathbringer if Medusa chooses. And I think she's at that stage in the build. If she wanted to build a crit item, she could. Scylla should have enough to complete her Rod of Tahuti, possibly get T2 after selling that Mage's Blessing. And again, Arachne with the 3k gold in hand should be able to complete her build off fully and probably buy a red pop to help push down this lane. They still got Fire Giant for about a minute 15 seconds. So I think they'll just sort of push up the waves, claim the Pyromancer, and set up for the next Fire Giant fight, which will be an enhanced Fire Giant. So it is a fight I think Tribe will have to take around that objective. I'm just kind of looking at their team comp and I'm not really seeing anything that can really set up a fight and turn it towards their favor. But they have got a lot of gods that have the potential to steal the Fire Giant if they have the right warding, if they have the sort of right pressure. They can not necessarily take the fight, but if Monkey Business elect to do a Fire Giant and try and force the fight, they have the potential to steal it. So they got about 15 seconds left on this Fire Giant buff. They are going to try and push down this right lane. Frenzy is popped. A huge Agni stun coming out. There goes the Ganesh ult to zone out that Agni. And just 2 kills picked up. And the fact they picked up Jaybird is absolutely huge there. And the Achilles managing to get Chief, and Creed picks up the Agni in the back. And it's just Jormungandr left. 1v5, but it's a fight he needs to take, and he will get picked up. This should be game. No one's really going to spawn. I think they just need to push it in with the minions. And Monkey Business doing just a great job there. So yeah, really good from Monkey Business there. The Achilles going 9-1 and 8. Just so many executes were hit perfectly. Arachne 7-1 and 12. The Ganesh with 20 assists. It's just a really good game from Monkey Business. Tribal came out of the blocks really strong. I think they got 6 kills first and were currently in the lead. Then just Monkey Business able to sort of turn that around and snowball it. Yeah, just having a quick look at the sort of stat sheet. Yeah, it's pretty much as expected. Like I said, I think the Ratatasker didn't do enough early game pressure and just totally dropped off and was totally useless towards that end game. I just think the lockdown that the Ganesh provided and Arachne provided, Hydra Train was able to just chase down kills and hit perfectly timed executes. With that, I'm going to throw it to a break as I get game 2 set up, so I'll see you guys in a bit. And straight into game number 2 we go. And immediately from Tribal, banning out the Arachne. Do not want to deal with that pressure again. Totally understandable. Sort of dominate the early game. Hey Fuzzy in the chat, and Goke, I see. Welcome. Looking forward to your set later, Goke. Hope it goes well and actually an interesting game. As the ban coming out from Monkey Business this time is Merling, and that will be followed by Tribal banning out the Thanatos. So Thanatos banned out twice in the set already. Targeted ban towards the jungle, but I don't know if that's where I'd necessarily be trying to ban out at the moment. Monkey Business again electing to ban out the Chronos. Which I think is a very big ban. Take that away from Jaybird. Just don't give Jaybird Chronos, and I think people are learning that lesson. First pick, we have Ganesh coming out. So worked great for Monkey Business in game 1. Tribal electing to take it away. Taking it. Appreciate you Fuzzy just trying to get the chat active. Midweek stream, everyone tired from working. Just coming back trying to get some relaxing games to smite in. It should be BOTG versus TBD. And that starts at 9, so I've got Tribal Gaming versus Monkey Business. I think that runs me to about 9 o'clock, unless I've mistimed it. Hope I haven't, otherwise there might be a long break as we see Monkey Business picking up the Zhonghui and Athena. So sports for this game have swap teams. As Humbats is locked in on the side of Tribal. And I do like that Humbats pick a lot more than the Rat Tusker pick, because the early game pressure Tribal were not able to really capitalise on. Humbats just providing a lot more into that late game to really help out the carries. Yep, just reading the chat. Jaybird absolutely destroys all of us. We all need help from Jaybird. And I believe that's a Chernobog locked in, and that will probably go to Jaybird. So last pick up for Monkey Business. I was going to say the Achilles wasn't banned out, so possible pick up here of that Achilles again, rerun it in the solo lane, transition the Zhonghui into that mid lane, but we'll take the Jingwei for SC Cubic and just give him a little bit of that safety Jingwei. Maybe you guys can tell me in the chat, because I'm not keeping track of the weeks. I don't know how many more times I think everyone's played each other nearly once. I think you maybe got a couple of weeks left of that, and then I'm not sure what happens after that. But it's going to be a lot of fun watching those games. As we see the Jormungandr Hera band out from the side of Monkey Business. And there is the Achilles band, which I would 100% expect from how well he performed towards the end of that first game. And the final band coming out as King Arthur. So again, I can't complain with that band. Don't give High Train anything hyper aggressive that he can bully that lane with. As an Awilix will interestingly be locked in on the side of Monkey Business. Has got the Jingwei there to provide a little bit of knock up, so it doesn't just have to rely on herself. They still got another god they can pick, and I believe they would be looking for either the solo lane or mid laner. More likely the mid laner. So as Agni again locked in on the side of Tribal. And Bologna being the final pickup. Really, I did actually really like the early push that Agni was able to provide. I just think when it came to mid late game, didn't really have enough setup to output that damage. With the Humbats now in play, with the Ganesh now on their team, I think that Agni's going to have a much better game and output a lot more damage. And Erlong Shang will be the final pick for Monkey Business. So I like Tribal Gaming's draft a lot more than the first game. They just have a lot more sort of setup they can provide all throughout the game. Monkey Business, I think they've just gone for more of the same, and if they can really pull that off, they could be looking at a 2-0 here. But I think Tribal have more gods that they are able to sort of counteract that. So with that, I'm going to throw it to a break while I get the game set up, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. And back into game 2 we go.
Minions have spawned.
Just having a quick look at the actives. Ganesh this time going into the upgraded sprint. Athena electing to go into the boots, so I think again that's a switch from last game. Athena is going to start out in the left lane, Ganesh possibly looking into the mid lane, but will begin to make the rotation. Possibly going to miss this first wave, but should stop the Athena applying pressure onto Jaybird here. And yep, Fuzzy, the Erlongshank was picked up for High Train during that picks and bans phase. So Agni managing to get the level 2 first in mid, but I don't think Deco will be too far. I think, oh, he might have missed one of those minions around the speed, but does manage to just poke out, just be better a little bit. And Agni electing to go into that spear is not really going to have any healing in his kit to boost that up again. So I think it's good from Deco, just keep poking out the Agni. Do have a little bit of a purple buff invade coming out here. They do get the 2 smaller minions. Jaybird managing to hit that stun onto both of them, but I don't think there's going to be too much follow-up. A Wheelix is here if they elect to fight this. But the fact Athena is channeling up her charge, knowing she used the free to clear wave, the taunt's not going to be available for this. The battle of the auto attacks. And Bologna seems to be winning this exchange so far. I was going to say Bologna's winning this, but Hyde has got a little bit more health potions. Hyde down to about 200 HP, does manage to pin Pexel down. Athena dashing in onto dual discharges, providing a little bit of a slow. Jaybird getting knocked up before he can unleash an exploder stun onto the Athena. But so far, just everyone playing safe and farming up as best they can. Taunt does come out. That's a lot of damage. Jingwei managing to dash away from it, and dual discharge not able to lock anyone down there. Do you have a Wheelix quite low in mid? I think that's just mainly from tanking a bit too many camps, and Humbat's probably poking her out around those mid camp fight. Might have... No, oh that's going to be unfortunate for the Humbats. He looked towards that red buff invade, but it's not going to be up. Athena Taunt not able to find Jaybird there. And I do like this sort of adjustment coming out. The fact that Cubit's had a lot of trouble dealing with Jaybird in the 1v1, just having a little bit, putting your support over here, giving that little bit more support, protection. It's really helped them out, but Humbat is rotating and Humbat is 5, so I need to be a little bit careful here. Don't think he wants to clear the buff camp, because then I don't think he's got enough to ult and do enough damage. We'll get a little bit back from clearing the camp, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually do a gank. But 4 minutes in, just everyone farming away. Most kill potential has been into this duo lane, but they've just not really been able to lock down the character and actually burst them out. But there comes a huge taunt out of Athena, getting the 2-man taunt. The knockup does come out onto Jaybird. And just dual discharge doing support things. Protecting any follow-up from Athena, but oh, Cubix managing to dash away from that. Again, a huge Athena taunt, just stopping any follow-up damage coming. And Agni does manage to get the stun onto Zonkui, but Zonkui is going to be a very tanky mid laner. He's going to have a lot of healing in that kit. You do have Chief rotating. There comes the Humbat's ult. There goes Hyde down to 200 HP. Does get Bellona. Oh, here comes the Athena. They need to kill him. Oh, they can't find the kill. Does get a huge heal off, and there goes Chief. Oh, Tribal, that was the right gank, and now I don't think Apexel's going to get up. The knockup does come out. The Weedix ult ultimate is used, and I think Apexel might just get away from this. Oh, the Athena taunt says otherwise. But they will pick up Athena in return, just tanking one too many tower shots. Oh, Cubix using the ultimate does manage to hit Jaybird with that, but Jaybird will dash in after. One auto, not going to be enough to find that kill. Oracle should fall here to the side of Tribal. 3-man splitting it. But there will be no contest from the side of Monkey Business.
Did that hurt?
Just having a quick look at builds, everything seems to be pretty standard. Little bit of difference in the solo lane that I think the death on the Bellona allowed her to get TG boots, which is going to have a little bit more movement speed than the Erlongshan, but Erlongshan having that turtle form to sort of mitigate some of that. Agni Bomb just putting out a little bit of damage onto Deco, but Deco's just going to heal that up. Big Athena taunt, Agni would dash away. Getting that silencing out any further damage, but I think Deco had already pretty much used all his kit, and I don't think he's going to ult the Agni from there. I think the ultimate on Agni is only really going to come out if Athena manages to taunt Agni out of his dash, as they will look for Jaybird here. But gonna say they're looking for Jaybird there, but I don't think they've got ward coverage. Currently being pinged out, but I think possibly the sentry ward was taken by the Redux there, so Jaybird knew where she was, but a little bit at the moment, no vision for the side of Tribal. All the wards going to the side of Monkey Business. Managing to invade those back camps, but we'll lose a totem of coup for it. And everyone just farming up. Apart from Jaybird. Jaybird always is going to take a fight. Does manage to hit a couple of autos, but here comes the Relix, and there comes the ultimate out of Jaybird. And we'll fly all the way over to the solo lane, pick up the blue buff for a little bit of XP. Phoenix dashing in towards the Ganesh, does get the taunt off, but there's not really going to be any kill potential here. They will get those mid harpies though. So yeah, I can look at the charts. It's not going to be too much of a difference at the moment. Everyone just seems to be very happy and content farming, coming up to the 10-minute mark. And yeah, I'll be honest, apart from this left lane with Jaybird constantly trying to poke out Cubics, I don't see if there's any kill potential, possibly in that solo lane if the jungle makes a rotation, but they do need to be careful with that Athena sort of ultimate coming out and can change that fight like it did last time. Oh, Cubic's doing a great job there, stepping forward to avoid the stun, but still get poked out by Jaybird a little bit. Here comes the Awelix. Turns around so he doesn't get knocked up. The beads are used. And Jaybird will escape there. I'll give him a little bit. I'm not sure why the beads will pop there. I guess if a Wheelix was in range for her second ability, you don't want to be locked down by that movement, but just off the mark, he has enough movement speed to just about keep away from the Wheelix there. As we have a blue buff invade coming out of High Train. If this is called out by the Bologna, I expect Hyde to be in a little bit of trouble. The Humbat's ult just about managing to clip him. The Bologna ult does come out, but oh, High Train is looking to turn it around with his ultimate. Manages to pin the Bologna. Here comes the Athena to turn this fight, and Bologna has no escape here. The taunt comes out, and High Train will pick up that kill as a Wheelix managing to pick up the Humbat who was trying to jump away, and there goes Chief. And here comes Ganesh for a little bit of peel. It's not going to be enough to keep the Agni alive. And all of a sudden this game has swung wide open into the favour of Monkey Business. They're on the right side of the map, so yep, Pyromancer. Was going to have a quick look to see if Jaybird was going to ult it in and just try and contest this, but with the Ganesh ult being down, that margin of safety was not really there. Monkey Business taking that 5 kills to 1 lead and swinging that golden experience difference down to about 2,000. Yeah, what a fight. I honestly thought once Erlong sort of invaded that blue buff, I thought he could have been caught a lot more out of position from the Humbats, from the Bologna, but just the ability for Monkey Business to be aware that was happening and turn that fight so quickly. It's given them a little bit of an edge in this game as Jaybird. Oh, that's Jaybird's dash. He will have to ult away. Is he going to look to ult down into position? Oh, I think he took a little bit too long making his decision. But here is the Ganesh. Ganesh down to about 100 HP. There goes the Humbat's ult, but here is the Athena. Sprint is popped, and Ganesh will get away. Oh, Chief. Should be okay. And Tribal pick up the return kill. It's not quite spawned yet, guys. Be a little bit careful on those abilities. Guess it doesn't matter too much, as I do expect the Humbats to sort of back after getting those back camps. But Cubic on this Jinwei is having a much better game. Not really pushed under tower too much. Is getting poked out a little bit by Jaybird, but Jinwei with her passive just able to come right back to base. As we do see Erlong proxying, and there are 3 members here, and I don't know if he's going to have the ability to get up. Taunt is used to give him a little bit of movement speed. Turtle form back in, background. There is a huge health pop from the shield, and I was going to say Humbat's ult isn't really up to set up anything there, but that is a huge rotation onto Erlong, and it's going to allow this Gold Fury to be started up by Monkey Business. I was going to say possibly Arachne could look to steal this, but electing to clear the mid camps instead. So gold and experience difference beginning to go a lot in the favour of Monkey Business. 3,000 sort of advantage in both areas. That T1 is low in the mid lane, so Tribal do have a little bit of a way back into this. And Jaybird has got a little bit of a lead onto this Jingwei. Jingwei having to pop the Aegis. Not 100% sure how much damage is coming out. And with Humbats over here. The Humbats over here with no mana. Okay. A lot of pings coming out. Erlong does manage to pick up the tower in that solo lane. And Bologna just seems to be struggling. And even when the rotations happen, and they should have a pretty easy kill, just monkey business out rotating with that Athena ultimate. Talk coming out to dual discharge, but if they did manage to get the Wheelix knock up, I think that could have been a kill potential. Erlong really just poking them out in the back line, just looking for those back camps, denying any experience for this tribal side. And I was going to say, everyone is pretty much even or about a level apart from this Erlong Shang, who's currently 3 levels up to this Bologna Catapult. That's a huge ultimate from the Ganesh. Humbat's ult comes out, and I don't know, they do manage to pick up Deco. But Hyde doesn't care, he's fighting 3v1 under a T1 tower, but he's left his team in a little bit of trouble. The Bologna ult comes out, picking up a Pexel into the back, and Bologna will not make it out of it alive. We've got a Gold Fury spawning in 2.5 minutes, so don't think it's the right time to really be looking for a fire giant. I think they just need to sort of push up the lanes, get the farm, possibly look for another kill as High Train, just not letting them get the red buff for free. Jingwei just dashed. Jingwei needs to be very careful here and does have to use the bees. Even with Athena coming in, will ult away, and Athena is just left one-on-one with Jaybird. I think this should be Pyromancer. Did Hyde no respect, just solo in a Pyromancer. And that is a little bit scary that Monkey Business have, or that Erlang has such a lead that he's able to sort of solo objectives free. Albeit Pyromancer being a little bit of a mini objective, but still it is something in this early game you kind of want to contest because it allows you to get back to these fights quicker, allows you to back spend that gold, and you're not losing out on too much anything. Even these T1s shouldn't be pushed out. I would say I would absolutely love to see this Chief on this Humbats just blink into that T1 tower, couple of hit it, jump over the wall and escape, just because the mid pressure that, the mid safety that mid 1 tower is giving Monkey Business at the moment, it's just allowing them to stay and farm. If they don't have that, they've got to kind of think twice about their positioning. It's a little bit risky really if the only Fury, the one spawning in about 15 seconds. Athena just making sure the ward coverage is for her team there. And with 5 members of Monkey Business are on the left side of the map at this stage, they could be looking to force this fight. They do get the taunt onto Ganesh. Ganesh is getting blown up, managing to dash away for escape. The Humbats ult is used defensively, and Jaybird's just in the back fighting Zonkui. The beads are used on Zonkui. He does get slowed. Will beads to get away there, and a lot of ultimates. And there you see Longshan beginning to start that Oni Fury, and with Tribal not having any sort of vision on it, this goes down for pretty much free. Good zoning by the Athena Zonkui. This is still going to be a 5v5 fight. Oh, the Awix blinking, but gets silenced out immediately by the Ganesh, but Ganesh should fall here. Jaybird managing to pick up a kill. Dual Discharge will fall there. High Train is low in the back. Pexel picks up Athena. And there goes the Chernobog ult. And can they set up anything here? Huge Humbat's ult. Decoder is picked up. And they're still chasing this. They got two low health characters, but I do think they've got to push into this Oni wave. Oni wave. No one's really going to be here to defend this mid tower. They take the T1 back, look to clear out the jungle buffs. Curious to see if this mid tower will fall for Monkey Business with that Oni wave. Is there enough minions there to stop it? Not quite. Going over to T2 tower in the sailor lane. Humbat should be here to clear this one out. And that's one tower loss for both teams. So Pyromancer looks like it's about to spawn. I would probably expect Erlong to rotate and just complete that on his own. Humbat's a lot out of position there. The ult does come out from the Awilix, but oh, that's just unfortunate timing, and Chief will get picked up there. Using his ultimate to zone out the Monkey Business rush that was coming after him, but because Awilix used her ult, she was immune to pretty much all of that. Zonkui is ulting, just trying to pick up Just Be Better, and Just Be Better should fall here. Just Be Better should fall here. God damn it, 1 HP getaways, and Deco! There's High Train picking up Just Be Better in the back. Jaybird now rotating over. High Train is low. High Train does manage to get a pin, just zoning out the Ganesh, but Deco is still here. I don't know what Deco's doing here. Oh, the Athena is getting locked down. I was going to say Chernobog does have a Odysseus bow, so a couple of bounces, Deco could have been in trouble there. And even here is the Ganesh, so Pyromancer will be started up on the side of Tribal. Just de-warding fight. I think that went to Tribal there. And Jingwei replaces it with a ward of her own. These guys have been kind of messy, and they are just swinging in both directions, and I'm not really sure which team is picking up the advantage. The Yellowfang being level 20 is huge, but Bologna is just going to close that gap constantly. If we have a quick look towards the net worth, well, both teams are looking to farm and just ward around this fire giant. Erlong, of course, top of that net worth chart, but Jaybird isn't too far behind. The only kind of big difference is about a 1,500 gold difference between the supports. But everyone else is kind of on... and about 1,000 difference between the mid laners. Agni really struggling here. If the taunt does come out into the mid lane, but not able to catch anyone. And Monkey Business will look to rotate and claim this Pyromancer for themselves. So all ultimates are up. I'm just trying to, I guess, poke out a little bit of damage onto characters here. Just a regular Gold Fury has now spawned, so it could be tempting for one team to go take it, but Chernobog was called out in the mid lane a little bit. Here comes the sprint, it's popped, there is a huge Ganesh ult, huge Humbat ult into the middle. Hexel picks up Deco. Chief should get picked up here by the Erlong, but the huge Ganesh Siren's coming out and will save his jungler. And I don't know if I'd chase kills, I think I'd call an objective and go for it. They do lose a T1 tower in the left lane. There's a huge minion grouping that they will need to deal with. That is a lot of archer minions going in there. Gold Fury will be confirmed by Tribal there. I'd having to pop his horns there and just no one electing to fight him. And I think that's a wise choice. So we shouldn't have another situation like that building up in the right lane. Bina coming, dewarding the fire giant. As each team sort of gets ready for this fire giant fight. The fact this has been such a low kill game, currently 8 kills for Tribal, 9 kills for Monkey Business, any sort of pick off is really going to be a huge swing in these fights. So I think currently Tribal do have that ward advantage. 2 members did just back, so if they recognise this, they might be able to force a fight here, but 2 members being in that right lane just trying to push it up for the time being. I don't think there's a fight potential. Phoenix will back now, but with Defender of Olympus can easily rotate to a fight if needed. Yep. The backline dive coming out of Monkey Business here is really strong. I would like to see sort of a Pexel go in with the Humbats. Oh, huge pick up onto Hydrain. Hydrain dropped to about 6 HP. Defender of Olympus is used. As we have a nice little fire giant dance coming out. This is where we need to find some nice ballroom music, put it on the speakers, and just watch them dance. I was going to say, I'm not sure what team really has the advantage here. It's whoever gets locked down a little bit out of position. I was going to say the Ganesh ult should be able to change this fight, so I would expect Ganesh. Oh, that's a double pin there, but Hyde is on his own, and there is the Humbat ult to save the Ganesh there. We'll quickly switch to the team fight. We have 3 ultimates used for one. Weedix is in the back trying to find a kill, but Ganesh ult just zoning out Monkey Business, and King Apex will just about get away there, but Chief will get picked up. King Apex will electing to teleport back in, and Deco is in trouble here. Deco electing having to use the beads, having to use the Aegis. Will not get out alive. Defender of Olympus used, and Creed managing to pick up. Just be better, but will cost him his life there. And a nice double pin coming out of the Erlong. And this fight is not over. Jaybird just, those autos and the Odysseus bow just absolutely raining damage down onto Monkey Business. And no team really have an advantage here. Pyromancer should go down to 3-4 Monkey Business here. But even when these teams are picking the fights, they are hitting abilities absolutely perfectly. Just the counter engagements from each team are swinging these fights in either direction. It's not clean from either side. Yeah, so after that fight, I believe it would have just about become an enhanced fire giant. So yeah, after that sort of huge team fight, I'm surprised they sort of kept pressing and didn't force the fire giant fight, as Athena does get a taunt onto Dual Discharge. Dual Discharge being a little bit out of position, separated from the team. Will dash towards the mid lane, the safety of the Agni, but Erlong is here. The pin not able to find the Agni dashing away, and I think Dual Discharge could be in a little bit of trouble. Gets taunted back towards the Erlong, gets taunted back towards the Athena, and that's a lot of ultimates used to try and kill the Ganesh, but the Ganesh with the ultimate managing to turn the fight. Creed and Eve managing to dash out with very low HP. And can they find a kill here? The Humbats managing to pick up the Athena. Can they find Deco? Deco does get stunned in the mid lane. Bird managing to pick it up with the auto, and I think they run this down mid. Or they're going to look for the enhanced fire giant. They elect to go for the fire giant. Still a lot of towers up for Tribal here to take. I was going to say should be free. Oh, the Wheelix jumps in, managing to get pick up just be better, and that's a huge pickup, presuming they just got the enhanced fire giant. And Dual Discharge really managed to get away from the high train. The churning bog damage just says go away, go away, go away, and high train has to oblige eventually. The grouping for the fight in the mid lane, I think they had Ganesh out of position and just split a little bit too much trying to clear him out. Hyde does have a Spirit Robe built in that 6th item slot. So the Enhanced Fire Giant being on 4 members of Tribal, I think they'll wait for their Agni group up and push up. I would imagine I would like to see the call to push up the right lane. I think a Primal Fury should go down here for free for Monkey Business. Having a quick look at the gold charts, everything is pretty much even. It will be about 1,500, I think. 2,100 after that. Gold Fury. Experience difference in a little bit in favour of Tribal, but everyone is approaching. Everyone is 20 apart from the supports, so that shouldn't make a difference. They do manage to get the T1 in the solo lane. And I'm going to wait for minions before they elect to push in. Nope, Dual Discharge begins to tank the tower. Just having a quick look at builds. There is an Emperor onto the Athena, so Athena, oh, that is a huge Ganesh ult, huge Humbat ult, but Jaybird does get picked up, and I think if they were managed to lock down Jaybird, that would have been a huge win for them. Cubics will get picked up by Chief, and Jaybird will pick up Creed and Eve, and that should be game. With only Deco left up, he does have an ultimate, but I don't think it's going to be enough to really zone them off this Titan. He gets stunned out immediately, does get a triple stun, but Jaybird just absolutely destroying him, and that will be game to go into Tribal. And we are one apiece, everyone. Just, just wow. The fights in those games, just Jaybird on the Chernobog was absolutely outputting damage. As soon as Jaybird came online, team fights totally changed. They were, I'm not going to say messy from Monkey Business because I think they had the right idea picking out targets, but they just weren't able to lock down the targets they were picking out, and Tribal were able to turn it, and that was the total opposite from the start of the game where Tribal were picking out the Erlong in awkward positions, and with the Athena ult, with the Wheelix rotating, they were able to turn those fights. Just the late game, it happened to be Tribal picking up those wins, and that is a good comeback for them. So with that, I'm going to throw it to a break. Going to definitely grab a drink. So it might be a little bit of a longer break than usual, but we'll be right back in a bit. And we're back into game number 3. Teams have swapped around, so Monkey Business will be on the order side getting the first pick. As we have the first few bands coming out as the Arachne, which my spelling gets worse and worse every time. So we get the Arachne band coming out of Tribal. And the Chronos band, that is the wrong slot, coming out of Monkey Business. That is followed by the Humbats. And while we're waiting for Tribal's second band pick, just two very good games from both teams there. So how do you think it went in the chat? Are you guys looking forward to next week when we have more bands coming out? You have more things you can take away from Jaybird in that ADC role. More things you can take away from Hyde into this solo lane. And the final band coming out is Merlin, and that will allow Monkey Business to first pick Ganesha. So I think Ganesha has been the character that has actually been carrying the game, just setting up so much for the team fights. I think Monkey got it in game 1, they won the game with it. Tribal got it in game 2, they won the game, and now Monkey Business have it for game 3. So I think Tribal need to pick up something that will really counter the Ganesha or just absolutely blow him up. And I say that, and they immediately lock in a Kepri. So it'd be interesting to see what the solo laner sort of brings out. I think in the team fights that have been very messy, it's been both tanks diving the front line trying to set up kills, and I think having Kepri as a backline support just peeling for your carries can work, and they do pick up an Erlong Shang. So Erlong will be able to do the frontlining, and I don't hate the Kepri pick. I just don't think it's great to sort of set up anything, but with the Erlong, you have that setup available. I still think they need another in the... I imagine it's going to be Erlong into that solo lane as it's been played in this set. So I still think they need a jungler to really have some setup, so possibly the Humbats with that big ultimate to set up the kills. As we wait to see what Monkey Business will respond with. So just going over sort of the classic sheet, just as I'm waiting for these picks and bans to come through. Ganesh currently sitting at a 56% on the pick ban rate, compared to the Kepri at 17%, as he picked up 7 times. Apparently had 4 wins, 0 losses. So I think the stat sheet might be a little bit wrong there, but never know, as we do have the lock-in onto the Medusa. And if that Petrified does manage to hit a few targets, that is a huge setup, especially if they're Petrified and Ganesh can then really capitalize with his ultimate. The pillars to do a lot of damage in a very short space of time, as we do have the Zongqi also coming out on the side of Monkey Business. Yeah, as the Raijin is the final pickup for Tribal Gaming in this first round of picks. Yeah, I was going to say I'd be interested to know what the actual stats are. Might have to speak to Rick to find out why the wins and losses columns are a little bit off for everyone. But the picks and bans percentage should be accurate from what I'm seeing. As we had the Achilles ban coming out from Tribal. I believe that was followed by a Jingwei ban. And Monkeyviz also electing to take away the Chernenbog from Jaybird. So the final ban, of course, being the Thanatos ban. So banned out in all 3 games. Fuzzy saying Ganesh hasn't lost the game. In this set, he hasn't lost the game. From the spreadsheet, the fact he's been picked 16 times, I'd be very surprised if every single one of those games was a win. But I'd have to go dig into the numbers and double check that, as we have the Rat Tusker picked up on the side of Tribal. And I am very scared for Tribal right now that this has made it all the way through. I will just leave it in the picks and bans. I won't mention it, but I think High Train is going to have an absolute field day with that one. And the Bakashura will be the last pickup for Monkey Business. Yeah, Fuzzy. It was my thoughts exactly once it got locked in. And the final pick for Tribal will be a Cupid. So I've got to give this one to Monkey Business. I'm not sure what Tribal can really do to counter them. The Cupid Fields of Love Ultimate is really gonna lock down King Arthur for maybe a few seconds in these team fights, but I just think Monkey Business have everything they wanted from that draft, and I think Tribal first picking a Kepri, even though it is going to help with their backline sort of defense, I don't think it was a great pickup for first pick. With that, I'm going to throw it to a quick break while I get the game set up, so see you guys in a bit. And into game number 3 we go. So this one, all the marbles, 2 points to the victor, 1 point for the loser. And just the fact that King Arthur has been given to High Train here, I don't know what Tribal can really do to contest that, especially with the Kepri starting on the left side of the map. They're not really going to have the early pressure here. Ganesha was over here to expect that double in start in that right lane, but just from the open in 30 seconds, this is already looking a bit rough for Tribal. The Ratatusker electing to go straight for the blue buff, but it's not a buff you can contest with the Ganesh here, and the King Arthur will do the back camps, but that will be a blue buff invade, and Backshore will confirm Monkey Business's own blue buff for that. And with dual discharge being in that mid lane, he did stop. Just be better from hitting 2 before Deco here, but Deco should be able to heal back any health he lost. Didn't get the healing there. Not quite sure what happened. Maybe slightly mistimed, but wasn't mistimed that time. But those 3 minions are still going to make it into the tower. So Cupid into Medusa. Not really sure who I'd favour in this matchup. Jaber doing well with positioning, just staying in front of those archers so he doesn't get hit by this bit, but he will get hit by autos. Not able to find the heart bomb there, but will pick up the hearts for healing. And Medusa will claim the purple buff, but here comes the Ratatusker. Medusa turning around like, nope, not dealing with that, and running back to safety. Again, we'll have a quick look at Golden Hand. Ratatusker not quite there enough to get his tier 3 Acorn. The Science coming out onto the Ganesh and just really poking out this Kepri. And Kepri has taken a lot of poke damage here in this mid lane. Chief managing to get the oracles for his team. And we'll just keep an eye on this ADC battle, see who comes out on top for this next exchange. But both just seem to be content with farming. A little bit surprised here by High Train electing to go for his own blue buff. I know he's about half HP, doesn't have his Gladiator shield online, but still would have expected a blue buff invade there. Oh, Phantom Shard gets picked up by the Kepri, and Kepri is in a lot of trouble here. Sprint having to be popped, and that is a good route coming out of Kepri to save his life there. Oh, blinking. Sun not able to connect with the Ganesh, and the elephant will dash away to safety. Rotation coming out onto the left lane here. Ratatusker here. Ratatusker does go up to the ult, but Backshore does spot it out. And can they find the kill as I pan the camera over? There is the Medusa ult. More for safety, but not able to connect to the Ratatusker. The Backshore ult also used. And that is a big win for Tribal. Yeah, I guess we can go over have a quick look at the solo lane high train with that Gladiator Shield online. Erlong Zhang going into the Berserker Shield, which is going to really help with his sort of healing and sustain, but it means he's going to want to be fighting into that wave. And that's where King Arthur wants you in that wave so he can hit every single one of those abilities by, I think as Fuzzy puts it, rolling your face onto the keyboard. King Arthur is a fun and interactive god, everybody. It's still 5.5 minutes in, no kills picked up. The lead switching backwards and forwards, these teams just both even with the farming. As there's the King Arthur ult coming out onto Pexel. The taunt does come out to try and pull him into the T1 tower, but just a little bit too far away. And we have a solo lane fight. And a Pexel is getting the better of this exchange, actually. For Camelot, for Avalon, back down to the ground, and just turtle out there. Just the fact that King Arthur can use that ultimate so many times in a fight, it's ridiculous, as Zonkui does try and put out a lot of damage onto a Pexel. Here comes the Ratatusker to try and turn this fight, but they should both make it to the safety of the tower, and I think that will be first blood onto the Ganesh. Cupid able to find a Medusa, but Bakashura will clean up Jaybird there as a little bit of revenge. A 2-for-1 trade on the side of Tribal Gaming there, and I was going to say that gives them a very, very slight lead. I've also just noticed that that switched around again. So there we go. Sorry, Cupid was not in the right position. But Cupid electing to go for the Transcendent Thrust. Medusa having the boots, so should be able to dodge a little bit easier with those heart bombs. But Jaybird, with going into that Transcendence Rush, is going to be hitting very hard with those abilities. And Transcendence, I believe it is the right call onto Cupid. The fact that you can then use your hearts to heal you back up. We just dash away to safety there. And it's Ganesh again called out of position, just looking for this red buff invade. He's on his own, but the team isn't really here to help with the contest. And just High Train taking at least a level lead at the moment. I think Apexa will hit 9 from these minions once they go into the tower, but we have a little bit of a fight happening in the left lane. Kepri is rotating, but again, Kepri isn't really there to set up a lot of kills. He's there to keep your team alive with his ultimate, able to revive people, and he wants them as far out of the fight as possible at that stage, especially in this early stage where they're going to come back with very little health. And we have the King Arthur 8-minute proxy, everybody. Oracles will fall for monkey business there. And King Arthur is now invading those back camps, and Erlong did manage to hit 9, but every objective is going to be picked up by the King Arthur as Creed and Eve picks up Jaybird, and Monkey Business are really targeting and trying to put behind Jaybird as much as possible, and presuming how much he dominated from game 2, I think that is the right call. even being 2 kills down at the current moment, Jaybird is pretty much top of the player damage charts for his team, not only being beaten by King Arthur, who of course will be beating anyone at this early stage of the game. And Chief here is ulting up, so Medusa could be in a little bit of trouble here. Does spot out the rat ult, but does manage to beat it, and there is the huge Medusa ultimate, but the Fields of Love will pick up. Cubit's not quick enough to slither out of that one. Are we even gonna say King Arthur gets out of this? Goes up into the ultimate. Oh, the Ganesh ultimate to try and create a little bit of separation, but Just Be Better could be in a trouble here. Just Be Better just picks up by King Arthur. Bakashura, oh, there is the Kepri revive. The blinking from the Ratatusker to provide a little bit of heal. And Deco will pick up Kepri there, having to use the ultimate to do so though. And this should be a free Pyromancer for the side of Monkey Business. Just King Arthur being way out of position, rotation of this team helping, but he's able to survive a 3-on-1 fight for those 5-10 seconds, allowing his team to rotate. Cubic's about, oh, the dash in, but the heart bomb not able to find the target. Medusa doing very well to avoid any abilities coming out from Jaybird at the moment. Hello Rob will go back to farming. Trying to see where the next sort of kill potential is. It's either going to be Tribal electing to put too many resources into the King Arthur in the solo lane and losing Gold Fury, which I believe happened last game, or it's going to be someone setting up the Cupid kill or the Rising kill for Monkey Business, and they can look to get Gold Fury off of that. For Tribal, I'm not sure exactly where their kill potential is going to come from. The Ratatusker needs to sort of lock someone down, and I said it in game 1, the Ratatusker currently going 0-0-2. He should have the damage online to at least be stunning enemies and trying to get that lead, but it's just content with farming, and the later the game goes, the less effective that Ratatusker is going to be. Whereas in comparison, the later the game goes, the more effective Bakashura is going to be. It's going to be able to tank down people, and there's the blink in, the ultimate onto Just Be Better. Just Be Better using the ultimate just to zone everyone away. And Kepri's here to save a little bit. Oh, the Ganesh ult. They're going to be forced to be stuck in that, and here comes the Zonkui ult. The Kepri ultimate was used to keep his Zonkui alive, but it's just going to pull the Zonkui back into further danger. And Deco managing to pick up the Rising, sorry. And Creed and Eve here for the cleanup onto the Kepri. Erlon trying to tank down this Zonkui, but it's not going to be enough. And the Ratatusker ult, I don't think it's going to be enough to finish the skill. Oh, it just about is onto the T1 tower. And that is a good pickup for the Ratatusker. So a good sort of return fight from Tribal there, but again, the fights happen, but there's nothing really taken advantage of. They can't push into a T1 tower, they can't take a Gold Fury. In fact, in the solo lane, that T1 tower is looking very low, and that's going to mean King Arthur is about to start rotating even more. And they need to be a little bit careful here, because if it gets pointed out that there's 2 members over here, Monkey Business might look to start a Gold Fury as they look to turn their attention onto Jaybird. Jaybird just dropping that Fields of Love just to try and create some separation, but it's not going to be enough, and Jaybird will get picked up, and was going to say, I would expect them to look towards the Gold Fury here. They've got the kill, they need to press that advantage. But I don't think they're going to do it with Bakshira backing. Medusa happy to go back into lane and farm. So each team kind of having the mentality of picking up the kills, which is great, but once you pick up those kills, you need to think, what are we doing now? What is the next point of call? Are we going to try and have to find another pick? Can we force an objective fight? As the Ganesh ult comes out, not really able to keep the Khepri into that, but the Khepri will be slowed into that Zonkree ult, but will manage to get out alive. So I know I at least have Fuzzy in the chat. If you're a solo laner and you can tank a T1 tower, what is the point of leaving it at this HP at the moment? Wouldn't you just go in, clear that tower, get that gold for your team, and then you can start rotating more? I need answers from solo lane. Solo lane is the position I know the least about. Jaybird really trying to find the kill onto the Medusa being pushed up. This far has got ward coverage, so we'll know rotations are being made onto him. But it's more sort of, oh, he dashed in, managing to get the heart bomb onto the Medusa. The Medusa ult does come out to find a little bit of return damage. But here comes the Bakashura, and this is what Jaybird needed to be worried about. The Fields of Love used to create some separation. There's the blink. The ultimate just off the mark, but I think Jaybird managing to find the sneaky way out. But Creed and Evil jump immediately after him and pick up that kill. And again, you've got 3 members on this side of the map. You've just killed Jaybird. I don't think farming this purple buff is the right call. I think you try and force the Gold Fury fight. Especially when you have Raijin half health in mid. And they finally make the call, but in my opinion, they could have done this about 10 seconds earlier. Ratatusker is in the back here. He will have an opportunity to steal this. Will get silenced out, and Monkey Business do manage to confirm this. The slow coming out from that Ganesh ult onto the Ratatusker sprint popped. There is the revive from Khepri, but the fact that sprint was popped, he was out. I think that was a wasted ultimate, but dual discharge will manage to escape to the safety of his T2 tower, but he turned back and looked towards the King Arthur. That is not the right thing to do. King Arthur diving into that T2 tower, picking up the kill. And can Tribal find anything in return here? I don't believe they can. So, team looking towards the Pyromancer here. It will be a 3-on-2 fight for the time being. Raijin should have to go back to base. I don't think he'll come and contest this. Meanwhile, King Arthur is just literally 2v1ing with a little bit of Ganesh support. I'm still really annoyed that that T1 tower in the solo lane is standing, and I don't know why you're contesting this rat. It's not worth your life at this stage. He does manage to confirm that blue buff, but when you have a sort of solo laner who's attack speed based, he doesn't really need that blue buff, especially with a Breastplate of Valor built up for that 20% cooldown, as the Pyromancer will go down with the Zonkree and Bakashura, and thank you Ganesh. The elephant pays attention. As Jaybird does get a little bit of return damage in the left lane, picking up the T1 tower, and the pause comes out before Jaybird is dived on by this Bakashura, but there is a Ratatusker rotating and a Khepri, so he should make it out okay. So for the players in the chat, was this a long pause or is it relatively short? I can try and fast forward a little bit, as we do see the Unchained disconnect at the moment, and I think they're probably going to punish him for it. There we go. Pexel's just joined back, so kind of long. Okay, we'll keep the fast forward going, and we're back into game. And Nep, Creed, and Eve going straight onto Jaybird. Jaybird, Aegis Shoes. Jaybird will dash away. Has got the Kepriol. I think he just needs to find a way to get damage, but Creed and Eve will get picked up in return. And I like what Jaybird is doing in this left lane, but he is pushing up way too far. If we have a quick look, he is currently 2, 4, and 1, and I think 4 of those kills is because he's pushed up too far, trying to poke out this Medusa. But his team were able to rotate that time, but I think he needs to get more involved into these team fights to give Tribal a little bit of a chance everywhere else across the map. Baxter going 5, 1, and 2 at this current stage. So pretty much was 5 kills up, and I was going to say, I would imagine that would be an Atlantis bow, but I think he's gone down the path of an Odysseus bow, as the Ganesh ult not really able to find any target, hoping to pick up the lobster. But no, nothing really there to be found. But the King Arthur is rotating, so expect a sort of T1 siege here. The teleport coming out of a Pexel there. And there is Sunquee ult. And Kepri should die on landing. Here comes the Fields of Love from Cupid, dashing out to the safety of his T1 tower. Can they find the kill onto Ganesh? The sprint has been popped. And the rat will die before he can make it up into the air. I was going to say it's a 4v3 fight, but the Freemans are very low. Oh, Jaybird. Zonghui outputs a surprising amount of damage, and now this is a 3-on-1 fight with the Pexel taken up in that King Arthur ult. Will fall on landing. Jaybird. Can Jaybird get up? Just Be Better's already fallen. Jaybird will dash away to safety, and I was going to say they're quite low, so I'd expect them just to push up the towers here. Pyromancer's not available. We have an Oni Fury spawning in 20 seconds, so if they can push up this T2, Oni Fury, they should have the timing on it. They should know it's about to spawn. And I expect them to peel off to the left side of the map and take out this Oni Fury. And if I'm having a quick look on the side of Tribal, there is nothing that's going to be available to contest this. Maybe Kepri can get a lucky tick off, but that is going to be a very, very lucky tick. Frenzy is part. They will burn this really, really fast at this stage. And with that, we have a quick look at the graphs. Things are beginning to spiral out of control for Tribal, and Monkey Business are just absolutely dominating this lead. So the Ratatusker picking up 2 kills so far, but compared to the Bakasura, it's currently 7-1. I don't think this Ratatusker's pick has worked for them once again. And I don't want to put all the blame onto the jungler here. I don't think the Kepri in the support was the right call, especially to be first picked. And I just think Monkey Business have a much stronger team comp that at this stage they can probably, if they find anyone on their own, they can probably 1v1, 1v2 them at this stage. Especially with that Bakasura or even King Arthur. Pyromancer close to spawning. We have a 3-man grouping on the right side of the map. And Tribal just sort of not sure what to do with themselves at this stage. No farm ready to be taken in the jungle. They've not really got the ability to contest any objective. I would say try and farm somewhere else, but just any rotation from a Bakashura from out of nowhere, and they're dead. They're picked up, so they haven't even really got the safety of even doing that. Especially with that left lane pushed up so far. Fire Giant will be started up here by Monkey Business. Jaybird is around the corner. Frenzy is popped to burn this quicker, but I don't know if they know. Oh, Jaybird. Oh, Jaybird. I thought with Fields of Love he probably could have stolen that, especially with Ganesh not knowing where he was pathing. But with that Fire Giant pickup, they should look to take down this right T2 tower. Either swing by to get that left T2 or try and push it into this Phoenix. And I believe Phoenix would probably be the easier call. Tribe will have a little bit of area denial, but once that is down, the second push should be absolutely free. I don't think they've got the ability to even try and find a pick in this fight. As High Train goes straight into the Phoenix, finds Jaybird, picks up Jaybird, Jaybird having to beads away. But it pretty much leaves all the members here. Oh, Kepri using the revive onto himself, but it's not going to be enough to get him out. Fields of Love used, but everyone will be dashed away from it with the sprint. Pexel, a little bit of trouble in the back line. Ratatasker trying to find the target onto this Ganesh. Gets stunned out, does pick up the Ganesh, and I think that's enough to... Oh, and Jaber picking up High Train, so yeah, that's definitely enough to stop the siege onto the Titan. But they do lose their right side Phoenix for it. So, Tribal, that was a good fight. They did just about enough to keep this game going. But the issue is, I don't know what they've got on the next push, especially next Fire Giant spawning in 3 minutes. It will be pretty much an enhanced Fire Giant unless Monkey Business select to burn it for within like 10 seconds. But I'm not sure where their sort of damage output is to really turn this fight around. Jaybird on this Cupid has got a little bit of area of denial, but that's pretty much it. The Yelongshank is a single target. He might be able to taunt people into that Cupid field. I'm just saying sort of a combination that could possibly help. Gonna say at this stage, I think the only thing Ratatasker could do is possibly go onto the Medusa here, but even the Medusa damage output is not a lot going onto gods, but that Medusa will be starting to shred towers, especially with Titan's Bane online, so that's going to be the main source of the tower damage for Monkey Business here. So as this T2 should fall pretty free, Primal Fury is up. Don't know if they're going to elect to just keep pushing into this, or take the Primal Fury set up for the Fire Giant. Dishwater, this game I think was played yesterday, so currently in game 3. The Battleground of the Gods game versus TBD will be a live game. And then I've got 2 more games after that. That was from yesterday, and then I think 1 from Sunday. But just trying to catch as many games as possible and get the footage out there for teams to see, and hopefully sort of look back and try and improve a few things. But so far, Monkey Business have been providing an absolute clinic in this game, and I just think having the back Shura pretty much on fire, going 7-1. The King Arthur, although hasn't picked up a lot of kills, have just done a lot of output in this game. Cupid trying to find the Kepri out of position. That is a good Kepri route, but the fact that Sprint had to be popped to just save the sport there, that is a huge relic down. And just to say, I think it's 100% the right call to use your relic to save your life, but when you're the support and you use it to save your life because you're just slightly out of position, it can really hinder your next sort of team fight potential. So right Phoenix on your side has respawned. Enhanced Fire Giant is now up, and I think Monkey Business should pretty much be able to get this free Ratatusker in that right lane, may be able to do an ultimate to try and steal this away, and I think that's all they can really do, but the speed this is being burnt. High Train zoning out. This is going to be absolutely free. Picking up the Pyromancer. Medusa, Zonquit, and King Arthur do have quite a lot of gold in hand, so I think the call will be to back and spend, so picking up that Pyromancer is the right call. Just final siege, have all the items you can. And it's up to Tribal to mount some sort of defense here. I would have liked to see an Emperor's Armor on Tribal to give him a little bit more of an advantage, but I don't think Kepri has enough to complete the item. Kepri only 200 gold in hand, on the tier 2, so that defense is going to be severely limited. If I was Kepri, but I still don't think it would be enough gold to sell the Guardian's Blessing, but I think it's going to be slightly short. So half health, right Phoenix is the call. Don't think even Frenzy will need to be popped. Ganesh in the back, not quite able to pick up Jaybird, but Chief will pick up High Train. And that is one of the front lines for Monkey Business taken out. He does go on to the Medusa, which I think was the right call, but just zoned out. And if they can pick up Medusa here, this could be a turn. Not able to quite find that pickup, and Monkey Business will reset here and look for the next siege. That pause coming out just when I needed to cough. So from what I was reading in the chat, this is quite a long pause, so we'll try fast forward through it a little bit. Haven't seen anyone disconnect yet, so I don't know if times 8 is the right speed. I was going to say back in game, but I don't know if Deco got the message. Yeah, he does now. Don't worry about the pause, I've already fast forwarded it. So, Monkey Business with King Arthur just spawning. I was going to say I would expect King Arthur teleport to be up and upgraded. They have got very aggressive wards, so look for this next siege to be on the left side. Phoenix. The fact that Tribal still haven't quite got their ultimates, if someone is keeping track of that. But the Cupid ultimate is up. Kepri not able to lock people into place. Creedney picking up Just Be Better. And Phantom Shock in a little bit of trouble. The Frenzy is popped. Jaybird will just about get out there. And there goes the Ratatuskers trying to find Phantom Shark on the Ganesh. Ganesh having to use the Ohm, but will get picked up by Chief. But Deco managing to pick up 2 in the meantime. And with High Train here, that is Heart Bomb coming out from Jaybird, and he does pick up High Train. If Rat manages to find the Medusa, that's the end of this push. But Medusa is now putting a lot of damage, and Medusa will pick up the kill and picks up the double kill with the help of a Deco stunt, keeping her alive. Wow, what a Zonkrui play. Heart Bomb being off, Cupid will try and dash away, but will get picked up by Deco, and that is a deicide. I think they're going to take the safe route and lifesteal up, but with minions already attacking the Titan, I'm not sure why they're taking down this Phoenix. Kepri will be up, but it's going to be a Kepri against 2 members. Most he can do is pull one of them and stop them from attacking the Titan. But it's not going to be enough, and Monkey Business will pick up game number 3. Just wow, I thought Tribal had that turnaround in the final fight, and just Medusa just double lifesteal the Assy Devourer's Gauntlet, able to just hit auto attacks and heal just enough HP to keep her alive, and absolutely turn that fight in the end. Chief not able to find that final hit, the Erlong diving to try and get that hit, and just wasn't quite enough. So yeah, well done to both teams. We'll have a quick look at the damage numbers. I think Medusa really, with that double life, still came into her own and sort of really outputting that damage late in the game, when I think for when I checked, about 28 minutes was pretty much at the bottom of the damage charts, just doing a lot of structure damage. And for Tribal, it was pretty much Jaybird trying to do as much as he can. Just Be Better did have a few good ultimates there, but just wasn't able to really find anything and push them off. Uh, just double checking the time now. I think I've mistimed this by half an hour. So let me just double check the set times that I've got for the other games. I think both go to an hour-ish. So yeah, I've mistimed this by about half an hour. So haven't got another game I can sort of put into the middle. So I can either leave the stream sort of running, but it will be on break until about that 9 o'clock mark, or I could possibly do a raid on another channel and then come back in about half an hour and start the next cast. I'll leave it up to you guys in the chat. Just let me know which one is better for you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can do a raid on Nuka for half an hour. That way, I'm not gonna have an extremely long stream, and at least one game is split up from that. So, yep, I'll be back in about half an hour. It gives me a time to grab a drink, grab something to eat. So, thank you all for joining me for at least this first game. Let's Let's give Nuka a little bit of a raid, a little bit of love. I'll see you all in about half an hour for the next game where it will be BOTG versus TBD. I'll start the stream a little bit early so everyone has the time to prepare. Grab the popcorn, it really should be a good game. Really looking forward to the Battle of the Junglers. See you all in a little bit.
Um aliado foi morto.